Hey guys, this is Life Maniac. Guys, let's talk about it. Welcome to another part of this series. I will call it The Circle is Now Complete. The Duel Monster era is ending. And Kaiba is saying to Yugi, we need to revive the Pharaoh attempt. So, basically, what do we see in the Dawn of the Duel era? We do see the Pharaoh attempt / Yugi trying to meet their destiny. Yamabakura is playing a key role in this very arc because he, you might say, sets the stage for the whole shenanigans coming up by first of all trying to steal all the Millennium items first, and then Little Yugi, I think, gains them back, and on the one hand, and on the other hand, he's tried to lure Seto Kaiba into Egypt by kidnapping Mokuba, but first of all engaging him into a duel, which ignites very, very interesting cards, especially from Yamabakura, after my opinion. We do have the deck profile on this channel already, so there we go and dissect deep down in depth what strategies, tactics, and new cards he has. So if you are up for it, then you might join that very video on this channel down below. And then Yamabakura finally succeeding in luring Yamayugi / Lil Yugi and his companions Joey, Thea, and of course Tristan to Egypt. I think along with Sonamuda, but I'm not sure. I think he comes down later. They meet with Marek and Ishizu Ishtar in Odeon, and then they finally get to the tomb of the pharaoh, where the pharaoh has to connect himself with the old stone tablet, and then his soul gets to the Pharaoh's soul gets to the past, where then Lil Yugi and the others will follow him right after, along with Bakura, who's still sitting in Yamabakura, still sitting in the one piece of the Millennium Puzzle, which he manipulated, I think, at the start of Battle City. And then Yamabakura sort of manipulates the whole occurrences by setting the stage, dueling himself with the pharaoh, and in between manipulating also the old memories from the pharaoh, the occurrences which were taking place in the old Egypt, and Yugi ultimately joining along with Tia, Joey, and Tristan the old memories, or you might say the spirit world of the memories of the pharaoh, trying to help him out to win this game of shadows which Yamabakura plays with the pharaoh. And then we do get to see some old Ancient Egypt duels with also with 3 Egyptian boss monster cards, along with also Exodia, and then at the end Zork, the evil negative antagonist of the monster antagonist against the 3 Egyptian boss monsters, prevails at first, and then the 3 Egyptian boss monsters connecting and uniting, and then Lakti, creator of light, comes out and then defeats the darkness once and for all. Seto Kaiba is also playing a key role in that. Of course, you might know by now that he also plays a very, very big role in this case in Egypt, because Seto Kaiba was one of the holder of the Millennium items, the Millennium Rod, I think, and one of the field marshals of Pharaoh Atem. And yeah, he's also fighting Yamibakura then. And we also get to know the history of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is of course, I think Kisara she called, which is the Maiden of the White, also existing also in the TCG. Yeah, Yamibakura then at the end loses both this game as well as the other one that he's playing against Little Yugi. As well as the one against the Pharaoh, so he like sort of splits himself into 3 spirit parts. One is dueling against the Pharaoh in a shadow game, but not duel monsters. It's just a overall game. The Little Yugi is fighting against Yamibakura in order to prevent him from getting the real name of the Pharaoh, which is Atem, of course, in order to make the memories of the Pharaoh all complete, so that he holds the key in order to defeat then Zork. First of all, he had to, of course, duel himself with the Diabond Colonel, which was the other boss monster of Yamibakura. Yeah, and then at the end, like I said, he's been defeated, and the Pharaoh has to face himself in order to that his spirit has been released. He finally has to duel himself with someone worthy. Seto Kaiba sets in, wants to be the very one and lose. That is a very, very, very special, essential fact. And Joey Wheeler wants to duel him. Seto Kaiba wants to duel him, but he's ending up. Little Yugi has the decision to make, and he's ending up fighting the Pharaoh for himself, winning ultimately the game after defeating all 3 Egyptian boss monster cards, which is it's really from another star, you might say. It is really. If you missed that game, you watched the series entirely, but without this game, then you really missed something, because this game is really back and forth and very much balanced. I mean, we get to witness Little Yugi having a whole new deck, which he first partially shows against in the game against Yamibakura with this whole monsters. Yamibakura of course has a partial other or 2 partial decks which are then united as one. He has a very one in destructive nature and one which is based very much on the fact of the ancient Egypt, and maybe a third part which is really existing out of necro monsters. Yeah, but anyways, so at last Little Yugi then prevails and wins against the Pharaoh. He has to admit defeat, and they are splitting, by the way, their bodies. So, and then the Eye of Ujat eventually closes as the Pharaoh is defeated, and the spirit of the Pharaoh can finally rest forever. And that's about it. And Little Yugi says one thing at the end, which is the end of something is a new beginning, or the beginning of something else. Which leads me to that very fact, which is the dark side of the Dimensions movie, which really is taking place right directly after the Duel Monsters era, in which Little Yugi and Seto Kaiba are dueling, because Seto Kaiba wants to bring the Pharaoh back in order to duel him, and Little Yugi tries to do that too, but he then realizes he can't, and Seto Kaiba is still really much eager to do that. And at the end there is an antagonist which is, I think, Paradox called, and plays with the dimensions, and I think he locked up the dimension of some sort, but you might watch the movie yourself. I don't want to spoil too much. And at the event we get to see the pharaoh also with some monsters. And the interesting thing is also we get to see Lil Yugi's ceremonial deck, which he played in the ceremony against the pharaoh in a new version. And so the Kaiba does have also very cool new version of monsters. And then of course Paradox with his cube monsters based deck. Yeah, and then at the end, they get to see the pharaoh very short, and he then goes to the resting place again. Yeah, and that's all what I will tell you about this very movie, because, like I said, maybe you guys watch it yourself. And yeah, I will be doing deck profiles for this very Dark Side of Dimensions movie, of course, of Little Yugi, of Seto Kaiba, and of the Paradox, the main antagonist of this era. And we do get to say, like I said, some little snibbles of pieces of the Pharaoh's deck. Maybe I unite those with the Little Yugi. Maybe I do a very separate interpretation of a TEM deck. But yeah, you will see. I didn't decide myself yet. And yeah, but other than that, that's about it. There's not more to add. If you have questions or some comments, then comment down below. But other than that, I think I'll conclude this very video. I loved the Duel Monsters era. It's really much finding its conclusion, and Dark Side of Dimensions is a little bit you might say, yeah, a little bit a transition between the Duel Monsters era and then GX. But there will be a let's talk about it then after the Dark Side of Dimensions deck profile and openings that I will be doing, or partially already did. And then I will be going a little bit deeper with the Dark Side of Dimensions movie. More analyzing, more. I will watch it also again myself and in more detail, because I just watched it once and not that. I was not paying attention that much and all those details were mentioned there. So I just know just the basic lines, you might say, the basic foundations of this movie. Yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit like, the subscribe button. Show me some love, guys. Stay tuned for more content of this kind. I will also, like I said, continue my Let's Talk About It series on this channel. And then we will see each other at the next deck profile or opening, which I'll be making then. Because I'm a little bit mobilizing all my instruments and measures in order to then also be fully prepared for GX, at least for the first season. Because the second season has another focus, and the third and the fourth also, of course, different ones. Yeah, but the suspense is already killing me. I'm very much looking forward to make those deck profiles and also openings that I will be doing then. Yeah, and as always, I wish all of you guys a good morning, a good midday, good afternoon, a good evening, and good night. Whenever and wherever you might witness this one, this is me, your Maniac, and a big, 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 big peace.